Hey, it's Ice Age TV, part 2 of Workday Conversations. How about that idea? I'm getting ready to ride around a lot. Today will be a 200-mile day for me. So, yeah, anybody watch my YouTube channel, I just like to talk while I'm driving, and it kind of helps the time go by. Anybody notice that when you have like a passenger with you in a vehicle and you're going somewhere, how the time does go by a little quicker because you're not so fixated on the drive? And yeah, a lot of driving. Busy day here for me. Beautiful Friday. And man, that's what, this little Maverick, this thing is just so cool. And I mean, I'm not lying to you. I mean, I have driven this thing now. Well, I didn't drive it yesterday, but this damn vehicle, I could really get like 3 days of driving on this vehicle without putting fuel in it, which that's phenomenal. I mean, this thing is just so cool. I mean, it's just incredible. So, for me, yeah, it's all about the Maverick, right? All about the Maverick. What the heck is going on here? It just doesn't end, man. I got my screen here in this damn thing, and now I'm trying to figure out how to get that setting. So why did it change itself? I don't understand this. I just don't understand. There it is. You'll see that this thing here has I'm getting close to 30 miles a gallon. Well, it's easy math. 30 times a 20-gallon tank, it was 600 miles. I think it says like an 18-gallon tank. So this is borderline a 500-mile, distance to empty once you fill it up. I mean, wow. Just really impressed. I know. It's just this is just anybody following my channel. If you have any friends saying, should I get a Ford Maverick? I'd say, yeah. Keep in mind, you're not going to buy this for heavy-duty work, vehicle, but for just a good old nice little truck to get around in and run errands and do minor projects, this is the hit. Yeah, the work truck, right? The mini work truck is what I would call it. Anyways, kind of back to the conversations about work, and for me, there's only so much time you can talk before people lose their attention span. I get all that, but at the same time, I just thinking to myself today when I got up this morning, I was thinking, wow, work. The work environment more than ever has changed ever in our lifetime. Just from the fact that people now more than ever work from home, and more than ever the robots and the self-automation is so more prevalent than ever before. But I was trying to convey a message earlier. I don't think I really made it clear. Was I think today more than ever people are making decent monies. And with this inflation rhetoric we're hearing about every day of our life, I don't know. I mean, part of me says that it's not as radical as the media machine and the YouTubers want to present. Part of me says that people are if you go on a 10-year increment of pricing and expenses and blah, 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 I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. I think the cars, for sure, have, kind of gotten out of reality of getting very expensive. I think the housing market has, but other than that, I mean, yeah, energy's up and down, but I think that more than ever, people are making good money. I mean, in this DC, Virginia, Maryland area, this is no lie. If you send your kid off to college and wants to be a cybersecurity or an IT person, I'm not embellishing. If they do okay in their schooling, the odds are they're going into a job. I mean, think about this. A 24-year-old, 23-year-old, individual may land $100,000 plus year income. And I've talked about this in my conversations, in other previous conversations. Part of me is like, here's the thing. More than ever, the young people are having access to really incredible, money-making opportunities working for somebody else. And so you have to say to yourself, if you're a single individual that comes out of college and you're making over $100,000 a year, $150, I'm hearing numbers like $150, $200,000 a year of fresh students out of college. And so I just think to myself, wow, as an individual, you're young, what's your debt? Okay, well, I heard the student loan thing, I get that, but at the same time, it's not like you're married and have 3-4 kids. You've already got a huge mortgage and cars and health insurance. So to me, I think more than ever in society, this younger generation is making truly incredible amounts of money. And part of me has said that's what's driving this inflation to a degree, that the younger people have the money. Yeah, where's that conversation? I mean, I think truly that more than ever in our society, there's a young group of people in their 20s and 30s that are making incredible monies. So to them, the $500,000 home, that's not really, it's like, okay, whatever. Or, the $50,000 car, yeah, whatever. These people are pulling healthy monies, and it's not that big a deal to them. And even the point that I read an article this morning about how where we are at the interest rates right now in the high 6 range for a mortgage, a person could afford a $499 home a year ago. Now they can afford a $399 home. So it's a $100,000 shave, which I've said that, I mean, just in overall, I think the housing market's really kind of gotten out of control. So I don't disagree. That market's, to me, needs an adjustment just because of the many conversations. If everybody gets the same interest rate, low interest rate, then the equation works. But if everybody doesn't, the equation doesn't work. But more and more, you're kind of, what you're hearing is some people look at this like, well, yeah, I'm going to pay higher interest rates, but if I get a better deal on a house and it's not a bidding war, it's not that big a deal. But back to labor. So, what I was trying to convey this morning was through the labor and the work, that for the inflation, I mean, is it really that radical? And sure, a retired person, it is more challenging. But a retired person, if you think about it, a retired person, you should have you should have things in order. Meaning, by that time in your life, you're retired, you can only hope that you kind of get your housing expenses and your transportation expenses in order that are kind of, relatively very modest and very low. That, that you have to kind of be ready for the what if. So I don't know. Once again, part of me says a lot of people are crying the blues because that extra money they had, it gave them the luxury of buying the extra vehicle or toy or whatever. You're hearing a lot of gripe about that because, once again, the people are like, man, this sucks. I used to be able to do this and do that, but now that the inflation's hit me, I got to pull back. So I've got mixed feelings on that. And once again, I'm not here to, to make the claim that, people are in really incredible, healthy circumstances. I'm just saying that I don't know. Remember I had that video, The Unknown? I think we are so in the unknown in this country, good or bad. But once again, the media, but it's a narrative. I mean, everybody wants, on the one side, to get the sitting powers out of their powers, and the only way to accomplish that is constantly preaching the bad and negative to convince those that support the bad and negative to hopefully change their direction and support a change of powers. And yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think that the powers to be are running the country correctly. I mean, I'm not going to get political. I mean, it's all about leadership. I mean, it was incredible. We've had both sides of the party where we've had incredible, talented leaders. And for me, I tell a lot of my friends, I can't believe that the powers to be, that was their last resort for that individual. I think there's better individuals in that side of the party that could do a better job of leadership. So it's all political driven and it doesn't go anywhere. It just divides us from what you like or who you don't like. And I'm not going to go down that road. What I'm more focused on is bureaucracy for our country, for the better of everybody, and get the powers to be that have all the money stop controlling, which that's a huge argument you hear all the time, is about how the political parties shouldn't be able to accept so much money from so many of the big powers that want to create the agenda to better themselves. But back to the work, once again, I think that where we are today, it's just really interesting times how people more than ever really have a lot more choices. And that's what kind of aggravates me. I'm out in the field a lot and I see people are homeless. And the homeless person, that's a mental challenge. I mean, believe it or not, I'm not lying. I have picked up homeless people and I've taken them with me to go work with me. I'm not lying about that. And what I've learned through those times I've done this, it isn't about the person can't find a job. It's about the person can't do a job. They have mental challenges. I mean, I've witnessed this numerous times. Because I'll take somebody with me and I'll give them some money to help me out do something. And I'm not lying to you about this. That what I witness every time is the same story. Just a little bit, once we start really working, that person gets frustrated and gets aggravated, and they don't really do the work. But then they want their money. I'm talking over the last 30 years of my life, I've done this. I have met the homeless person, and I've tried to help them, not in any great length, but I've tried to give them some money to do something and whatever. But it's the same story every time. They're panhandling. So many people are panhandling. I personally think there's a lot of people that get a kick out of panhandling and literally are working another job, and they're just getting a kick out of, on the side, they're making some free money from panhandling. Yeah, it's big. But anyways, the point in that is, more than ever, it seems like people don't want to work. And that's what I was saying in my first conversation this morning. When I came out of high school, my position was, will I be fortunate enough to be employed by somebody? Will I be hired because there's other people want a job, and will I get picked over somebody else? That was, I truly was at that. But yet today, the message more so than ever is, hey, you need to tell that employer, be so lucky you'll even work for them. Yeah, that's more so than ever. And to the point, employees feel like they can tell their employer, you're going to have to treat me better and pay me better, or I'm going bye-bye. So what is that? What happens then? We have like a lot of variables in place. To me, what's playing out more than ever in society is people are getting paid more money because the employers can't find people as easily. So they're forced to pay people more money, but then that drives up the price for the goods and services, which in the end, the person that's making more money, well, they're part of the driving the inflation up. And another thing I think about too is it's very easy in general to call out a sitting power that they're all the problem of all the inflation. When if you step back, it's a world supply chain and world labor challenge that has played out after the pandemic, because in all reality, there could be another person in power, we'd still have economic challenges. I think the green agenda has created the energy challenges and the food challenges because everything's wanting to be so green. So on that aspect, I think somebody else in power, I think the energy prices wouldn't be as radical in the food, but I still think there'd be challenges. So I think you're fooling yourself if you think that one individual makes a huge difference. I think that for sure the green agenda is making a difference, yes. But I think a different person of power could tame that down more, and it wouldn't be maybe as radical. And once again, it's all the future, right? I talked about that this past week, the future. We live in the future. Everybody right now feels like if we have a change of powers, the future is going to be better. Well, I think that's very possible if you get in leadership that believes in more law than lawless, if you know what I mean by that, which I think that's a huge problem. But it's all the social environment. More than ever, we're so connected because we can communicate with each other more than ever, like I'm doing. I'm able to communicate to people on my channel my ideas and views and thoughts and my passion for cars. And you go back years ago, I would have had to have been some entertainer or some known personality to get on TV to be able to talk. So more than ever, the social media, has been a great thing, but at the same time, it's been a dangerous thing as well. Yeah, so what are you up to now? So here's the thing I've been trying to kind of hold back, because I don't think it's going to play out, but I'm such a car motorhead nut. Here's my challenge. When I go to a car dealership, a motorcycle dealership, whatever it may be, I'll see something and all of a sudden like, hey, looky here, that's kind of my word. Looky here. I get to thinking to myself, wow, I'd like to really have that. So here's the dilemma. And once again, I would have thought by now, kind of what I would know a direction where I'm going. And for me, I have incredible relationships with finance people at dealerships that know how to get deals done. And then I have other dealerships that I've kind of worked with, and they just don't know. They don't know how to get the deal done. I mean, it's just so, to me, as you get older in life, the age I'm at in my life, I know who I am. I know what I can do and what I can't do. When you're younger, you don't really get all that. And so as you progress in life, you kind of become to understand more than ever that, everybody has their talents, good or bad. And so what I've learned over the years, growing up and running a company, is you eventually understand that there's certain people they just know how to get things done. And there's some other people that just don't know how to get things done. And so for me, I'm always intrigued just to see if that person thinks they can really do what they can do. Because here at the local Dodge dealership here where I live, I used to buy a lot of cars from their dealership, and they had a individual there that could kind of get the deals done. Well, that individual was dismissed of their management, and they're no longer there. And then I had, ironically, some other friends that were other dealerships that came in and took over the powers that be to run the dealership. So I had relationships with them, and they knew how to kind of get things done. Well, now that's totally all gone. Everybody's gone, and I really haven't been on the Mopar, Dodge, Ram purchasing new in the last, 3 years per se, 2 years, I would say, from this dealership. And so to get deals done now, I don't think these guys can get them done. So when I go there, the owner's basically son-in-law now runs the dealership, and he's always bugging me to buy something. Like, he was trying to get me to buy a Dodge Charger jailbreak 2022 that a gentleman ordered, and then tried to flip. It didn't work. And the jailbreak the guy built, it wasn't the jailbreak. I told the guys yesterday I went by to get my part for my diesel truck, that they're like, buy that. And I'm like, I bought already a Charger Red Eye, and I don't want that one because the guy that built it didn't know what he's doing. If you build a jailbreak, it's all about being very creative and different. And you don't just build the same theme car. If you're going to build a jailbreak, you make stupid, crazy colors out of it, and it makes it unique to being a jailbreak product. And they didn't do that. So it just looks like a regular Charger Hellcat wide body. It's an octane red. They didn't do anything creative. But if it would have been creative colors and had more of that wow pop, maybe. But at the end of the day, I would have paid basically like 10, 15 grand more for just a new one over that Frostbite blue one I bought that I think has already been things done to it. So to me, I'm more than happy. In fact, the dealership wants that car. They're like, if you ever sell this car, we want it. We want to buy it from you. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so we're there, and here's the danger report. I have so many people like, why wouldn't you buy a Ram TRX truck? The Ram 1500 Ford Raptor competitor vehicle. And I've always have been like, well, I like the Raptor vehicle so much that I'm just not excited about the Raptor truck. I mean, I should say the TRX Ram truck. And I've even have driven that vehicle. Yeah, I've even driven the TRX Ram. I did a little video here last year, I believe, when I was looking at for 4Runner Pro. And I just kind of walked away like, it's nice, but So these guys just took in a used Ram TRX, the blue, really pretty blue color, kind of like a bright blue. It's a beautiful truck, and it's really set up the way I would kind of set it up. So they took it in, and they want to sell it, and they're just bugging the hell out of me. And I'm just like, but you won't get the deal done. You guys understand. You guys have to have relationships for me, because I have a lot of vehicles. And the bankers get nervous when they look at my commitment and obligation. So most of them are like, we don't want anything to do with this Iceman guy. We want nothing to do with it. So yesterday, here's a nice Harley. Hear that right there? Here he goes. Nice day. Why didn't I drive my Harley, right? Yeah, right. know. So anyways, okay, so now I'm like, all right, you know what? Okay, well, I'll play the game. You know, because they're really, I'm like, let's, write up the deal. And I'll put X amount of dollars down. And I really hammered two of the finance guys. What I do is I pull the finance guys aside. I'm like, who do you know? Who are you going to use? I already know who will make the deal and won't make the deal. And they're running on like, nope. And then, so then I talked to this one finance guy, and I told him, I said, look, I'm not here to tell you to do your job. That isn't who I am. I'm just trying to feel out what's going on. If it's even worth me thinking you guys get this done. I'm not the easy guy to deal with on this financing. So I'm like, all right. So then another gentleman, really nice guy there, kind of a younger man, and he's been there quite a while. And I asked him. So we started talking. So then he threw out one of the bank's names that I've had relationships. Said, you know what? That bank maybe they would buy us deal. So all right. So eventually I said, all right, I'll fill out the application. Let's go ahead. You guys go for it. I think you have an incredible challenge. But you know what? Let's just see what happens. Because my position, I can always say no. My other position is, if I get the Ram TRX truck, and it really is something more like this Maverick truck. I really thought when I drove this Maverick truck, it wasn't that great. Well, here I am now. You know, what am I doing now? Who's the person that's like, wow, look at this Maverick truck, So part of me's like, you know what? I'm kind of going back to the Mopar products. Got the two red eyes, and I've got now the Ram 2500, 3500. Yeah, where's the Ram 2500? It's in my driveway, right? Yeah, don't worry. Well, you'll see that thing eventually. You'll see. Never give up. Never quit. Yeah, you hear me? Never give up. Never quit. So anyways, I got to think, you know what? Maybe I have a Ram 1500, 2500, 3500. Maybe if the Ram TRX so badass, maybe Kuntz Motor Ford wants my Raptor truck. Maybe I say, all right, here, I give that back to you. Or maybe I use that for the F-150 Lightning truck I have coming in. I don't know. I'm just the type of guy that I start thinking all these variables and everything. And so anyways, so this is what's really interesting. Yesterday afternoon, if you watched my video that I populated, this was now like 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm going back in the office, and so I said, all right, write it up, do the deal, call me. Well, I have reports, I get alerts when anybody pulls my credit. So if somebody tries to go do something, I'm alerted that they've pulled my credit to know somebody's trying to steal my identity or whatever. So yesterday, nothing. I get nothing. It's now like 8 o'clock last night, and I'm thinking to myself, this is so strange that I told them to do this deal, but yet there's no activity of them trying to pull my credit report. So I texted the sales guy, and his response is, oh, let me go look into it, let me check. And so for me, I'm kind of like, all right, great. Well, like 20 minutes later, all of a sudden, I'm getting all these email alerts that my credit has been pulled. Well, now I'm like, oh my God. So I left that dealership. At that dealership, they never pursued the deal. So now I'm like, well, I know from one thing, there's not going to be an answer tonight because I just know it to be too late. So, and now here we are this morning, and I notice I've got a few more credit pulls, and I told the guy, at me, like, don't do the shotgun effect on me. If you can't get this one or two banks to buy the deal, then don't continue to pursue the deal. I do not want a gazillion. I tell these people, this goes on all the time. I go to these dealerships, and that's why I don't deal with a lot of different dealerships, because in the end, the finance person is just clueless what's going on. After I sit there and I explain to them in great detail of what you'll have to do to get the deal go down. Yeah, so now I've noticed conservative 7-8 hits on my credit now. Well, I told this guy, don't shotgun the credit. Don't do that. Yeah, do they hear that? Last time when I left the dealership, did the sales guy follow through and get the deal put together? Obviously not. I mean, so here's the thing for me. So here's the reality. If I really want a Ram TRX, I know how I resolve this. I just call Kuntz Baltimore Ford. They'll go to the auction. They'll find me one. They'll bring the dealership, and I have one. Yeah, I already know I can do that, but I've never been that excited to do that. It's just a spur of the moment. This local dealership I deal with, these guys bugging the hell out of me, wanting me to buy something from them. I'm like, okay, well, you won't get the deal done. Yeah, we will. No, you won't. You won't get a deal done. You don't know how to do this stuff. Yeah, I will. Okay, cool. Go for it. And I know that sounds kind of arrogant and brash from my perspective on how I come across on that, but I've done this so many times. I know how it works. I know your job. I know what you do. I know how everything plays out. But so anyways, that's what the surprise was maybe going to be today. But now I'm going so opposite, way away from where this place even is, that even today, if this even played out, it maybe, but it's already gonna be mid-afternoon, late afternoon before I get back in. But I already know. The deal's not gonna come down the way I want it. Yeah, they'll probably get a deal done where it'll be stupid money out of pocket to buy the truck and then stupid interest rates. But yeah, I know. I told you guys this is how it play out. Remember? Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Well, there you go. So, well, anyways, so that's what am I up to now? Conversation. And, once again, I just want to kind of follow through on I'll talk about the work, and I think that more than ever in our society, the work ethic, what has happened to it, what is going on. World governing bodies are so wanting to convince people that you want all the rich people to pay for all your problems, and that you elect us, and we're just going to suck the rich people's monies dry, and you don't have to do much. I mean, borderline, that's the underlying message that I think a lot of people hear more than ever is go after, it just cracks me up. The government collects so much money, but do we actually have accountability? Do we really have accountability where the billions and billions of dollars of monies are going overseas? And just for the record, right now, what's going on with the China chip manufacturing being shut down and blah, blah, blah. And supposedly there's a $52 billion bill that was passed here 3 months ago or a month ago about the chip makers being given money, access here in this country to help build the chip manufacturing infrastructure here in our own country to quit relying on the overseas people to try to help us be more efficient here. Yeah, whatever. Okay, but what's going on? Where's that conversation? I mean, we kind of heard about it, but it kind of disappeared. But the whole point is, this just goes back to, for us and our governing bodies, it seems like the underlying message is that we want to go after the rich people to enrich yourself through the tax monies that we'll collect off of them to give you more free things. What's free? Can anybody show me something that's free? There's nothing free, so I don't know. And why do you want to live a life where you're expecting to be given things? I don't understand. I mean, do you feel good about that? I mean, as individual life, do you feel good about somebody giving something to you? Do you feel good about stealing from somebody? I mean, really? I mean, where's those conversations that more than ever we're witnessing before, the lawless cities, and people supposedly feel really good about beating somebody up and taking whatever they have, or going into a store. Here's a whole now conversations that are starting to kind of get traction that so many retailers in these lawless cities are really borderline going to just pack bags and leave because the crime is just so rampant that they can't justify being there. What cracks me up about the way these lawless cities are protecting the criminals, who's going to pay the taxes? When businesses leave jurisdictions and districts of cities, who's going to pay? Who's going to contribute to the system that's going to enable the revenues to support the governing bodies when the governing bodies are losing revenue? I mean, where's that conversation? That as you lose, look at California. I mean, California is a freaking a whole country world in itself. You know, but when do they raise their hand from all the big companies and corporations leaving and people leaving that, you know, the dry up the tax money? It's too in depth and too whatever. All right, so part 2, what's going on today? I don't know. It'll be interesting as the day progresses. If I get a text or a phone call that, hey, dude, we got the deal done for you, come get your Ram truck. And how crazy am I on that? Yeah, to come to closure, that's the right decision. I don't know, but here's the thing. First, I have to hear the first decision if you get approved. Right. All right, everybody, thanks for watching my Ice Age TV. I think I'll just kind of cut it there because this is a long video, and we'll just have to make bits and pieces as the day goes on and cut it up to 2-3 videos. So thanks for watching, and stay safe. Stay tuned for the TRX, the Trex. Uh-oh, here comes